Carnegie. It's so funny, man. Like this is being shipped from Philadelphia Orchestra Library. Like that orchestra is the reason I actually think I'm holding and doing a lot of stuff like that with orchestras to this day. Carnegie's special to me because my composer journey started here. I played here with the Experiment Band, my brother Robert Glasper, Chris Dave, Casey Benjamin, and Yassine Bey, aka Mos Def. We were at Carnegie, and it was actually one of the first official through from start to finish hip hop shows to be documented at Carnegie. And at the last minute, Mos Def said, "Oh, it'd be fun if we added some strings to it." And the show was the next day, and we were just like, let's do it, let's figure it out. And we scrambled, got players, wrote all the music overnight. The players showed up, we played their music right there in the moment that hadn't even been a single note written until 12 hours prior. And the first time doing that was on Carnegie Hall stage, man. And that's kind of how the journey happened. You know, some members of the National Symphony Orchestra were there, saw that performance, and that's how I was recommended, you know, to bring Nas to Kennedy Center. That began the journey, and now we've come full circle. Agolo? I try to memorize not just the story, the pace of everything. So I spend a lot of time before we start each song when I have the opportunity to rehearse, like asking, what's the tempo that feels right for y'all? Man, this is the African Symphony series that I did with the great Angelique Kidjo. I did this a year ago. It started with just a conversation, you know? At first we were talking about just honoring all her music, and then we dived into just how can we make it beyond her story? How can we make it about diaspora and even her influences all through Africa? So we decided, man, to celebrate her 40-year journey and beyond, and not just her music, like the people that inspired her personally. You know, how Fela inspired her personally. So that's why we started off the show honoring Fela, and you know how she literally has influenced everybody, from the sample generation, to the big African artists that are coming out now. She's that one connector that everybody relates to. So it just turned into, how do I honor symphonic music, but honor world music, pop music, what we call African American culture, and diaspora at the same time, knowing that these orchestras are not look like us at all. So that went into every part of every song that I worked on with Soweto Blues. How do I honor her story? Talking about apartheid, talking about all that, knowing that it's going to be performed through the lens of musicians that did not have her story at all. How do we make sure the heartbeat is in it? So it was fun asking her. I challenged Angelique. I said, listen, I'm going to try to make this challenging for everybody, so they got to honor the music. They got to honor our story. And that's what happened. This concert series traveled all over. And here we are a year later. I'm finally hearing this stuff in person. Every single note I'm looking at, it's like, you just sit in the room by yourself, pouring in hours and hours over this. The challenges in this is not what it might seem to me. It's not the obvious. I've never felt the need to prove a point or prove my worth or any of that. Our heroes, they did that part. They did that part. The scores I studied from them within the classical world and beyond, jazz world, they showed me that our people, our culture, our music, the way we take in the sound of American music, we belong in every situation. And I believed it. I believed it mad early, so I was like, I'm gonna just trust it. Whatever I hear, I'm gonna just do it. And I'll say, man, the beautiful challenge has been protecting that at all costs. Color of Noize, having my orchestra on this stage, doing it, and it being a representation of my story and self-love and freedom and feeling like wherever I am should be a safe space for them. I can't think of a better stage to do this music, man. So I am so excited, man, to see these beautiful faces tonight, unapologetically being themselves.